Now, somebody said that the decline or rather the end of many relationships is most of the time not infidelity or irreconcilable differences. It's usually the money. Because talking about finances in a relationship, oh, it is uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, we cannot survive on love. Eh? You may love me to the moon and back, but what are we going to eat for dinner? Okay? You may love me, I may love you, but where are we going to live? I am not Justin Bieber. I do not believe what Justin Bieber said. We could be hungry, we could be broke, as long as you love me. That is not my thing. Miss me with that. Ukianza kuimba hiyo wimbo early in the relationship, that's a red flag. I cut you off very, very quickly. So, statement is money is very important in a relationship. But why is it important? Number one, the relationship should be equal. And you need to decide what that means to you, especially when it comes to finances. People are always for, is it a 50-50 household, or can the other person, what do you call it, compute and be able to say the addition into the family, the input they put into the relationship, whether it's house chores, taking out the trash, doing other things around the work, housekeeping, whether that translates into the 50-50 equation, and how does that matter? Exactly. Yeah. How do you now translate that into the 50-50 equation? So you need to talk about these discussions. If I'm also going to be paying 50-50 of the bills, that means you're going to be doing 50-50 of the house chores, because ain't no way, me, a baby girl, I come from work, I get home at 6-7 p.m. I cook dinner, I do everything, I do the dishes, I do the laundry, the house is clean, the pool is warm. Then you tell me at the end of the month that we are going to split the bills of the household 50-50. What was your contribution? I feel like I'm getting the raw end of the deal. So you need to have these conversations.
Yeah, another very important one is just not unexpectedly. You know, have you ever gone from a position where y'all are good and then suddenly you need to support this person? My God, that tangent is just very, very unfortunate, and most people don't actually survive it. Most relationships do not survive a shift in power or a shift in financial responsibility, because one, it's unexpected, and two, there is a way you've put someone in a category in your head, and once they're knocked off that situation, knocked off that pedestal, it becomes very difficult for you to see them in the same way. So it's and oftentimes actually, people assume simply because you're not making money, you're a freeloader and you are lazy. It can be cute the first 2-3 years of the relationship, but trust me, ain't no way you guys are going to be in a relationship for 5 years and you still find it cute that this person is just chilling, living their best life and waiting for you to provide at the end of the day. Let them have their own, even if it's kidogo ili ya kuficha kwa mattress, let them have a little bit. Kidogo. Let them be able, it's not like everything you're calling, oh, I want to cough, can I cough? Send me 2,000 shillings for me to cough. Do you get me? I saw a rat running and now I need to get gumboots. Please send me 500 shillings for me to run in the... You know, it's raining in town where I am. Please send me money so I can buy an umbrella. Do you know, like every single little thing. There is no more salt in the house. Please send me 50 money for the salt so that I can buy salt. That can be very unattractive very quickly. True. And honestly, no one wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of. What, I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day and you're just chilling and you expect for me to love you and respect you? You will feel like a burden to me. You will feel like I am your father, and I don't want to have that really. I don't want to sleep with my daddy. So you better fix it. It's literal. Yeah. Would you want a man who is sorting things out as expected? Nope. Then you become their mother. Do you want to sleep with your child? Nope. Does anybody? You get me? You start to look like a child who needs support, and that can be very unattractive very quickly. Yeah. So always money for me.
And also unexpectedly needing to provide for somebody. It's very important for you to know your partner's salary or how much money they make, so that you gauge where you guys are financially. So that if life happens, God forbid, life happens,
'Cause it does.
and they probably lose their job, or they lose their source of income, or they fall ill, then the brunt of finances falls to who? To you. And you need to be in a position where you can stand on your 2 feet and hold your partner and hold everything else and not complain about it because they've been doing the same.
True, true.
So you need to analyze yourself before you get into a relationship. You know, if this man, something happened to him, if this woman, something happened to them, where would we be at financially? You don't want to be in those scenarios where, you know, one person loses their job and then you guys have to now go and live in the slums because you can no longer, you know, afford the kind of lifestyle that you had going on.
True, true.
No. You need to be in a position where if anything happens, nothing will change because you are going to take over and things are going to go on seamlessly.
Absolutely. Another very important thing is that, like, do you have the same financial priorities? Because this brings a lot of friction in relationships, because there's no way I have been saving, you know, breaking my back, making sure that we have a little bit of extra money in the bank, and then every single time you leave that house, I am waiting to see 20K down, 30K down. Do you know, every time you leave the house, I even feel like there's this running joke where every time someone leaves the house, you literally want to hold them in, because you know, as soon as they step out of the door, you are at least 1,000 less. There's money that's gone, and these financial responsibilities can be very tasking, especially if you are unequally yoked in how you prioritize your money. If you guys don't have a similar understanding of how we're spending money, it can be very difficult because they don't see the priority. Uko na 5K umekelea mahali, you've calculated how this 5K is going to be inafanyiwa shopping, ninalipa nani, ninafanya nini. You've calculated that 5K, and then your partner comes and sees that money and then collects like 3K. Now you go back, you're like, wow, how am I going to, so now I have to take out this and this and this. That pressure, or your own child, especially, or your siblings, you know, the siblings, umeweka pesa pale juu ya fridge, bahati mbaya, akakuja akaiona akabeba. That feeling of like, do you understand? Akabuy chips, as useless as chips. You know, the pain you feel is the same pain someone else will feel every time you spend money if you don't have the right priorities, or if you don't have your priorities in place. It is what it is.
And planning. Don't go into things blindly. Don't go into things saying it's gonna work out. It is what it is. You're so blasé about everything. You never account for anything. Obviously, at some point, your luck is going to run out. So you need to plan. You need to figure out, okay, we're going to move in together. Where are we going to live? What neighborhood are we going to live in? If we're going to move into this and this house, is it does it make sense that we're going to grow a family here, or is it short term or long term? For the duration of our relationship, are we going to be taking vacations, or are we just going to be, you know, vacationing at home? Unaeka wallpaper ya the beach huko, munaeka heater zinawaka moto hivi, munakunywa juice. You need to figure out how things are going to be going on. Planning vacations, planning school fees, planning if, you know, one of you wants to go back to school. You need to account for all of this so that you just don't spring it on your partner. You know, babe, kwa nini hatuendagi Maldives? And then, you know, it becomes pressure on them to make sure that Maldives becomes a plan. I'm saying Maldives because of you. You're the one who says Maldives.
I'm sorry.
Wow.